We had quite an eventful morning here on the farm. My buddy Lo went up to the tool shed to go and fetch something there, and he came across a enormous Cape Cobra. It was bright yellow, and for some reason, when they like yellow like that, they're just more scary. And he came in here, he was all waxen faced and ashen faced and scared out of his mind. And he's got very good reason for being scared. Those things are deadly. So we went up there with the snake catching tools and me crapping myself because I've never caught a cobra before, only puff adders. And when we got there, there was a mouse running around in the tool shed, but the snake was hiding somewhere, I guess. So I kind of chickened out of this thing, and my excuse was, "Listen, let's just leave it. It'll it'll go away on its own," and which is probably true. Because now, about an hour later, Lo went back. I don't want to tell you, for a guy in his 60s, he's pretty spry if he has to jump up on chairs and tables and stuff to see behind it where's the cobra. And so he went up about a couple of minutes ago and to go and take a look, and the mouse was still running around there like he owned the place. Cobra was gone. So that can only mean that the cobra has left, I hope. We're in any case going to have to clean out the shed at some point just to get rid of all the crap in there and just make sure that there's no, that the snake isn't still there, and then catch and release it. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk to you guys about oranges, making some oranges, preserving them in syrup. And I have this recipe that I got a recipe previously. I think maybe I should put that part as part one of this video and then show you what happens if you just listen to stuff on YouTube, because that was a disaster. And then my mum and my aunt gave me a much better recipe, which I wrote down here in my trusty recipe book. And if you grew up in South Africa anytime in the last half century, you grew up with this thing, Cook and Geniet, Cook and Enjoy in English. There is an English edition. It's brilliant. It's like the best. But I have been making, and you can see my book has seen better days. I got this as a gift from my friend Dani. And so I've been making all kinds of recipes that I found and that I use. I put them in here, from bread to making curry with bully beef, and how to make your own baking powder, and how to preserve olives in a pickling liquid. I have some pickles I made over there with asparagus that I was gifted, spaghetti sauce, apple jelly. Oh, the apple jelly was awesome. And one of them is the one that I got from the ladies. How to make nachos. Some parts of the world call them tangerines, and I guess there's maybe other names as well. Here in South Africa, we call them nachos. And I'm just using the exact same recipe to make oranges, to make these oranges in syrup. Okay, so what you're going to need is 1.5 kilograms of oranges. Here it is. You're going to need the juice of 1 lemon. I have 2 small lemons here that came from the tree. So I'm just going to use that in the place of the juice of 1 lemon. You're going to need 2.4 liters of water and 1.5 kilograms of sugar. So it's 1.5 kilograms of citrus, whatever it is. It can be oranges, it can be nachos, it can be grapefruit, it can be anything. 1.5 kilograms of citrus, 1.5 kilograms of sugar, 2.4 liters of water, and the juice of 1 lemon. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start and put up my water so it can start boiling. And while the water's boiling, I'm just going to cut these oranges in half. Leave the peels on it. Okay. By the way, people always sharpen their knives with this thing in the wrong way. They pull it so that the cutting edge is pointing towards them, and then pull it away. That's the wrong way, guys. I know there's a world famous chef that shows you how to do it that way. It's the wrong way. If you do that, you pull burrs out onto the edge of the knife, and the knife feels razor sharp, but it goes blunt again after a minute. You turn it so as if you're trying to slice the metal. So you turn this thing away from you and you slice away from it. And that way you don't get any burrs on it. Anyway, just a piece of info. Right, so let's get these guys cut in half. And these seem to be seedless, no seeds in them, right? If they had seeds in them, let me just make sure. Yeah, there's no seeds in these. If they had seeds in them, you would have to cut out the seeds, or have to remove the seeds. No seeds, no seeds. Great. Yep. And if you, when you cut these oranges, don't cut them from pole to pole. Go across the equator. If you cut it this way through, you're going to get these segments to still be in one piece, and you want the syrup to really penetrate into it. So cut it over the equator. That way the syrup can move top and bottom and go through the whole thing. So obviously we just removed the stem sides and the hard bits there. Oh, this one had a seed in it. And now I've already, not that. There you go. One seed out of the whole batch, not too shabby. Just make sure that there aren't any others. Looks like I've gotten all of them. That one's done. One's done. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. And once you're done with your knife, just repeat this again. Give it 3 or 4 pulls along this sharpening stone and rinse it off. And put it away. We're done with the knife for now. Oh no, we're not done with the knife yet. Let's deal, because the water is still, no, the water's still got a way to go. Let's cut through the 2 lemons. 2 small lemons or 1 large lemon, whichever you have. Now let's put this guy away. If you give it those couple of pulls on this thing, like I showed just now, just before you put it away, you never have to sharpen your knives, because they will stay sharp pretty much forever. Okay, let's wait for the water to boil. And here we are a couple of minutes later. As you can see, the water is boiling, and you want it to be boiling pretty quickly. So that's a pretty fast boil. And now you pop these guys in there. And I would recommend you don't put all of them in at the same moment. You don't want the temperature to drop too much. Once the temperature is back up a bit again, as you can see here, then you add some more. And just keep doing that until you've got all of them in there. I'm going to turn off the camera so I can finish this quickly. Let's take a look. Ah, good. Okay, we're going to leave it in there now for a couple of minutes until the skins go soft. That's great. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to squeeze out the lemons. I think, let me turn my camera down a little bit like that. Let me see if I can. And so I'm just going to squeeze out the lemons quickly. Get the juice. Great. There's my juice. Lovely. And how you test them is you're supposed to use a match. You test them by pushing a match through them. If a match can go through, a matchstick can go through it easily, then you know your oranges are done. Let's get one that's still whole. I don't have a match. We don't use matches really, but I do have a chopstick. No, not ready yet. Give it a few more minutes. Let's see if this is ready. Oops. Yep. That seems to be okay. Right. And then after that, you drain them. Use a slotted spoon. Get them out of the water. You can leave the water to boil. And now we add the lemon juice. Here you go. Let's put this away. 1.5 kilos of sugar. That's 1 kilo. And the other 0.5 kilo. And now you boil your water with the sugar and the lemon juice. You boil it for about 5 minutes or so. Okay, I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, so this is boiling great now. The Puritans will tell you to remove this foam. I've never done that, and I've never had a problem. So I don't do that. Now let's put these guys in. Very nice. Don't get your fingers in that syrup, guys. That is really hot stuff. In fact, I think I'm going to use the spoon. This is looking good. And now we're going to give them the opportunity to boil for a good long while until the skins start going sort of translucent, until you can kind of look into the skin. That's when you know your oranges are ready, or whatever citrus it is you're using, that it's ready. Don't put the lid on. You want the excess moisture to evaporate. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, about an hour or so later, you see it starts to really foam up. Look at that. You're going to see it in a moment. You also see that the consistency of the foam has changed completely. If you look at the oranges, here's a good example. You see the end here has gone sort of translucent. Maybe I should just try and bring that closer to the camera without getting everything under syrup here. Take a look at that. You see that? Where we look at that. Here you go. You see the end there has gone sort of translucent. Here's a good example also. See if I can catch that one. Look around the edges. Around the edge, it becomes sort of see-through. So this has now been going for about an hour. And it's gone down quite a bit. It was right up to the edge here. So it's a lot of it is evaporated. You can take a spoon of this and just catch this and maybe put it in the refrigerator for a minute or so to check if it's become a good syrup. I would recommend when you do that, just turn the flame down, because you don't want this thing to start boiling over, because that's a royal mess. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for 5 minutes or so just to cool down, and then I'll be back with you guys. Okay, I just want to show you guys, this isn't ready yet. There's the syrup. If you push it like that, you see it just sort of stays a syrup. And what you really want is you want it to start making kind of little little wrinkles. I wonder what this tastes like. Damn, this is good. This is delicious. Okay, we're going to leave it for another couple of minutes. As you can see, I haven't turned up the heat again, and it's starting to come up, the foam. So let's take another one of these spoons and just pop that in the refrigerator also. And then we'll see what that looks like in a few minutes. This is what your final syrup should look like. It's not a thick syrup, it's a fairly runny syrup. This is one that I made at the beginning of lockdown, so this is about 2 years ago, I guess. These are oranges from my trees. Yeah, I think this is about ready. You have the syrup fairly nice and thick. You can see there. And that is delicious. Okay, let's turn off the heat and bottle them. All right, guys. Now, when you bottle them, I would strongly recommend you invest in one of these. This is a canning funnel. You use this when you're making jams, and it just stops you from burning yourself and from making a bloody mess of everything you see. Okay, so let's put these guys in like so. And I just like to spread the heat around a little bit in the beginning. Don't use like cold bottles. If they had cold water in them or something, just leave them to warm up first, or run some hot water through them first, because this syrup is very, very hot. Yeah, this is great. You can clearly see it's gone like translucent. Yeah, great. Maybe one more. That should be fine. Let's get the other jar. I wouldn't recommend that you just take that and pour it in here, because that's going to be too much heat. I've never lost a jar like this, so I don't know if that'll work, but I would not try it. You guys, of course, are free to try it and then let me know what happens. Still a bit of space on that side for the last one. Okay, and now we can get the syrup in there. Once you have your syrup, and you see it didn't take a whole lot of syrup, suddenly the bottle is full right up to here. Just run this thing down the sides just to get rid of excess air pockets, so you don't later on find that all your syrup is settled at the bottom and your fruit sticking out on top. A little bit more. Like so. That should be enough. Careful here, this is really hot. Wonder if I don't want to put a piece of cloth down just for it to stand on. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's get this other one syruped as well. Still a ton of bubbles coming out. And turn the lid on, nice and tight, and this thing will seal itself within the next hour or so. You also get one of these things. I have no idea what it's called, but they come with all the canning kits that allows you to pick up this hot bottle and move it safely. All right, this is like medieval magic. And then after you've left it for a couple of hours, after it's cooled down, this is what you'll have, as I mentioned earlier. And you'll also have the syrup left in there. Here's a bottle from a previous a canning session. Now you can use this as it is on bread. It's great on toast. It's almost like a marmalade. You can also, of course, take this and just when you're stilling your next round of vodka or whatever, dump this in the place of some sugar, and it gives you an extra use out of it. Or you can do all kinds of things with it. This is great on ice cream, great with puddings. So you can use this. I'm gonna let that cool down and then see what I can, if I have any use for it. I'm thinking of making some extra whiskey soon, so maybe I'll just add this to a next batch of whiskey. Here's another session that you can see. It's a slightly thicker syrup. But we'll now have to wait and see until this is cooled down if the consistency is right. But I think it'll be just perfect. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe. Bye.